role of gender in our society, and in particular, the portrayal of women in media.
Okay, so I keep putting this off because I keep thinking I'm gonna put makeup on, and then I don't. So, oh my goodness, guys, it's been interesting. Hello everybody, welcome to weeks 31 and 32. As usual, I am off schedule, but I guess what are you gonna do at this point? Yeah, it's been interesting. I'm actually filming this on week 33, so all right, let's talk weeks 31 and 32. Okay, so I have my calendar out down here so I can remember what happened. I believe last time I talked about my week 30 appointment, which now I don't remember at all, so I hope I did. Past me. I really hope you talked about that. But it looks like that was, I don't know. Honestly, this is so horrible. But long story short, in terms of work, yeah, those 2 weeks were actually my last 2 weeks of work, so official weeks of work. So yeah, my energy levels are still crazy low, which is hard. It's been really hard, because you go to work and then you come home and sleep and you just try to get through what you need to get through. But okay, so I'm looking at week 31. Generally, I'm gonna skip basically cravings because at this point I don't think it's necessary. And my symptoms in general for weeks 31 and 32 were about the same. As usual, a lot of backaches. I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but I did finally buy a belly band. My back was really hurting, and the pants that I wore, they were so what I've been doing in terms of maternity clothes, let's talk plus size maternity clothes. They aren't really a thing, especially pants wise. You can get them, but they get really pricey. So what I have done pretty much my entire pregnancy, especially in terms of work pants, I purchased 2 pairs of pants. Well, I had another one that I was trying, but the ones that I've stuck with, I had 2 pairs of one type. I want to say I actually tried to get them in 2 different sizes, but it came from like a Walmart. It's like it came from Meijer, which is in my opinion fancier than Walmart, but not as fancy as Target. So they're just like solid crappy clothes, if that makes sense. But I bought the same pair of pants. I want to say I got them in 2 different sizes, but it really didn't make a difference. And they're stretchy, so for the most part they've been going over my stomach, until very recently. The bump is finally big enough that instead of being able to pull it up high, it's kind of slowly gone down to my belly button, which isn't exactly good for support in terms of the belly. So I went on Amazon, I got a belly band for about $10 to $15, which is, it's really good. It's basically like a spandex thing. I wash it if I'm not sweaty every couple of days, and it retains its tightness pretty well. I might get a second one eventually, but for now it's been awesome. It's really kept it gives me a lot of support just by pulling everything tighter to me, if that makes sense. So that's that. That's been really helpful. That was really helpful at work, especially with my work clothes because I'm not supposed to wear leggings. And definitely has helped me get through the last couple weeks of work. Other symptoms, my husband did note that my feet had started swelling, and they've gone down, but there was like one day where they were just really, really bad, and he was like, because I had mentioned that my doctor had asked, I think that was actually at the 30-week appointment, my doctor had asked if I had been seeing any swelling, and I told him no, and he was like, okay. Or maybe it was my 32 week. Anyway, so I mentioned that my feet, he asked about my feet swelling, and my husband was looking at him, and he's like, I think they actually may be swelling a little bit. But since it's hard for me to see my feet, he's been helping keep an eye on them for me, and they've definitely gone down. So that's good, because a lot of swelling all of a sudden can be a sign of preeclampsia, and thankfully that looks okay. Other symptoms, I've noticed more and more my feet and my hands will go numb, so I'll get that when we say our hands are asleep, I get that a lot. Which I'm sure is like a circulation thing. So like at night, I loosen this up quite a bit. And anytime I start feeling my feet do that, I try to get up and move. Oh, my acne has been terrible. That's another fun symptom that I just love. Especially around, the parents that I work with. I look like a nightmare. I really do look like I don't take care of myself, and really I'm just to the point where I'm like, I just can't put effort into putting on makeup when that's probably part of why I'm breaking out on top of hormones and the weather. Oh, well, there's a corgi right there. You gonna get in the video? So if it's not the cat, it's the corgi, right? No, he's just gonna sit there. I think that's pretty much it in terms of symptoms. Oh, I guess I have had a couple what I'm assuming are Braxton Hicks. Just really, really occasionally. They're really high up, and I'll just all of a sudden cramp. It kind of feels like, this is probably TMI, kind of feels like I'm gonna have gas. Like really, really bad gas, but then I don't, and it's just like it got really tight. So I think that's Braxton Hicks. Otherwise, I really haven't been cramping. It's really only been just a couple times here and there. So that's what I'm gonna assume that was. Okay, so that's pretty much it for symptoms. If I think of any more, I'll throw them in. So week 31, there really wasn't anything. Like I said, I did have that my 30-week appointment. And then week 32, so the end of week 30, so week 31, I know it's always confusing because I try to do it at the very, the week leading up, but when week 31 started, when week 31 started, so I just talked about the week leading up to week 31. When week 31 started, my grandparents were actually in town, which was really nice. They're so sweet. They brought some baby clothes for the boy, and so we've got a lot of overalls, which I'm really excited about. And actually, I super appreciate it because she made sure to get me different sizes. So instead of just having a ton of 0 to 3 month, I've got like some 18 month and I think a toddler one. So I was like, yes. So that's gonna be really nice, especially later on. But that was really cool. My grandparents were just driving. My grandparents and my mom were coming from a reunion, going to their home in Virginia, and they got to stop by because we're on the way from Kansas. So that was really cool. And then week 31, nothing super important happened, or I guess nothing super important happened to the start of week 32. So like if you were looking, I know I always explain this, but or I try to explain it. But so basically it would be like week 31 and 5 days, week 31 and 6 days. So this is that week that I'm talking about. So week 32, I did have another appointment. So this would have been my appointment from last week. Okay. Gotta get myself there mentally. So the appointment from last week, generally it went pretty good. I had an ultrasound, BPP, which is a biophysical, profile. That's the word. Okay. I finally figured it out. It's a biophysical profile. And I met with my doctor, and it was actually my doctor, not a nurse practitioner. The only reason I say that is because they try to switch off every other week or every other visit. The ultrasound and BPP went so good. My husband actually came to that one because he hasn't seen the baby in my tummy since week 20 at the anatomy scan. And it was hilarious because they told us like it could take up to an hour, because part of what a BPP is they want to see the baby hit 8 different points. And I don't know all of them. I'm actually curious. I might ask next time. But what I know is it's things like they want to see the baby move. They want to see him react. So like, so movement. And they want to see him practice breathing. That's the big one. The practicing breathing is the big one, because they want to see his lungs moving. And that's why it could take a long time, because if he doesn't want to cooperate, then it's going to take a while because they need to see that. So he did really good. We were done so fast. And the reason I have an ultrasound and a BPP is because the ultrasound includes a growth scan. And so they measure his head, his abdomen, and his legs. They're able to get a weight and what percentile he's in, which is great. As of 32 weeks, he was in the 71st or 72nd percentage. So he's doing really good. And he was measuring, I want to say a week and a half, 2 weeks ahead. And yeah, I think everything else looked really good. All of his measurements look really good. Oh, as of 32 weeks, he weighed 4 pounds, 10 ounces. So he's big. He's a big boy. And that was the BPP and the ultrasound. And then I met with my doctor. The only thing that they've noticed that's a little weird is I do have a lot of amniotic fluid. And this is something I'm going to talk about more on the week 33 vlog. But what happens with the amniotic fluid is the ideal number is 20. I want to say I was at a 23 or a 24, which is still okay, but you want to keep an eye on it. And they don't really want to see you going over like 25. So my doctor said at 23 or 24, we're still looking good. We just want to keep an eye on it. Just continue monitoring, which we're already doing since I'm high risk with my hypertension. But otherwise, everything looked great. Really, my meetings with my doctor have been pretty short. I don't have a lot of questions, just because generally I've been feeling pretty good, and as long as he looks good on like the ultrasound, I'm feeling good. And then in terms of like a birth plan or anything that I have, we talked about it very early on, which is that we want to try to have him come out vaginally first. And if that doesn't work, then possible C-section. We haven't talked induction or anything like that, but he knows that I'm very flexible, and just the important thing to me is that he comes out and he comes out okay. Because I realize with hypertension and being high risk, I'm probably not gonna get whatever way I want. And this is like the one thing, me being a planner, This is like the one thing I'm actually okay with just letting happen. Other than I would love to, like, part of me would love to schedule an induction only because I want to know like a date. But like how it happens, it's not as big of a deal to me because I just want him to come out okay. But I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna start recording week 33 as soon as I'm done with this one. But generally, things are still going okay. You know, I'm feeling okay. By week 32, so like week 32 and 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Week 32 and 4 days is my last day of work, or was at this point. So I'm almost done, except I will be on call for the following week. This part is something that does not need to go into detail, but once again, long story short, they have somebody who's replacing me, but that person is in training this week, or in training for the week after I'm officially done. August 3rd was my last day. They have somebody in training for the following week, and they're able to cover me, basically unless like a whole bunch of people call out sick. So for now, I'm just going to hang in there on call, but they said hopefully they shouldn't need me. So that's what I'm gonna kind of hang on to. I'm not trying to plan a whole lot of things for the week of August the 6th, but I just, like, I'm just gonna get chores done is kind of my goal. So that way, if I do get called in, then it's something I can easily drop to go in. So we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, I'm gonna end this because this is a very, very long vlog. Next time, we'll be back to just 1 week. I'll just talk about 1 week, I promise. Because I'll be off, and so I can actually do that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for keeping up with my pregnancy journey, which I know has been super hectic and all over the place. But thank you so much. Congratulations to anyone who has had their baby or who has found out that they are pregnant. It's so exciting. And I will talk to you guys next week for week 33. Bye.